Hello and welcome to this brief introduction to Research Plus. So what is Research Plus? Well, Research Plus is a premium market data service that delivers an impressive array of research tools tailored specifically to UK markets. In short, it's a markets channel for the UK retail investor, which we believe is very easy to use and costs less than £1 per day. What we've done is we've split it into three distinct sections. The real-time products for the active trader on the left hand side here. Underneath we have the premium news, which basically gives expert insights by our team of market experts into how the markets work across asset classes, and also a strategy tester tailored to UK stocks. So let's start with the real-time products. The real-time products terminal launches by clicking on the real-time terminal icon. Here we go. You get a list of buttons that appear on the top screen here. So I'm going to click on Heatmaps and load Heatmap. This now loads a FTSE 100 heat map as a default and shows you the top 100 stocks in the FTSE 100 and lists them by ticker. Now if you want to see the rises and fallers by value, it automatically sorts them in order from biggest faller to biggest riser. So you can see the biggest faller is Lloyd's, the biggest riser is Diageo. So I want to know a little bit more information about that particular stock, so I'm going to mouse over the ticker name, right click, and it gives me access to a range of options. The same options that are actually on the main menu bar up here, but this basically saves you the hassle of actually inputting the ticker for that particular stock. So here we go, Lloyd's, which gives you the price data, financial data and reference data for that individual stock. If I want to know a little bit more information, again I'll right click, it'll give me access to a chart for Lloyd's. Now the charts that we show you will be from long term to medium term to short term. So we're going to go and maximize that like so. Change the chart type very simply like so. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because the detailed aspect of this will be covered in later videos. This is just a brief introduction, so you can change like so, 30 minutes, along with the volume along the bottom. Access to a range of indicators, moving averages and oscillators. Drawing line tools also allows you to basically add significant news items that may or may not affect the stock, so you can see how director deals or company announcements may or may not affect the share price. Again, I will deal with that in more detail later. You can also add alerts, access news about Lloyd's from our range of news sources. So we've got RNS, which is the London Stock Exchange Regulatory News Service. We have Sharecast. Click on the headline and it basically brings up the story like so. You can also set alerts, set up your own watch lists of stocks so you can track your own stocks without having to look them up all the time. This is accessed from this tool here, the alerts monitor there and the watch list tool there. Drop down there, so you've got a default watch list, click on go and it's empty, so we're just quickly going to add a ticker. So I'm going to type in Lloyd's and click go. And select. And that should then add the ticker to the watch list like so, which will give you the market price, the change in percentage terms and price terms, and the latest bid and offer. Okay, so that watch list is now saved. We'll close that down. That's the alerts monitor there. And we also have level 2. Now level 2 is something that we get asked about an awful lot. I'm just going to briefly touch upon it, but I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because that's for another video. So the yellow strip price is the latest best bid offer price. So it's 46.25, 46.26. You've got the latest list of buy orders on the left hand side here, the latest list of sell orders on the right hand side, scroll down and you can see all the orders on the bid and the offer for Lloyds Bank. You can also look at a summary view as opposed to a detailed view, so you can see the number of orders at each different price point. So you can see there's 3 orders at 46.24 totaling 36,126. On the right hand side you've got what we call level 1 data, which is the latest trades and the amount of shares that have gone through at that particular price point and the time that the transaction went through as well. So as I say, that's a brief introduction to the terminal, and that's what Research Plus gives you access to, real-time access. You can drill down into everything that affects that share price. Okay, so that's the terminal. We can now move on to the premium news service. That is again split into 3 categories. Technical analysis articles here, so we'll click on technical analysis articles, and that gives you access to the premium section of articles about a range of assets, from individual shares to foreign exchange to equity indices. So Thursday the 11th of Feb, Rolls-Royce hits 2-year highs on record orders. So we'll click on that and that quickly opens the news story. Go back, that takes you back to the main home page here. You also have strategy articles and market analysis articles, all written by our in-house team of journalists. So here we go, latest one: China's hit and run could hurt the markets, by Chief Market Strategist, CMC Markets, Ashraf Laidi. North American indices and commodities, amongst a host of other items, and you can scroll across to look at historical archive stories as well. Okay, so let's now move on to the strategy tester. Strategy tester allows you to develop and test your stock screening strategies historically and benchmark the performance of your chosen against your chosen index. So what that allows you to do, you can create your own stock screen. Here we go. So these are the most popular screens. We've got premium screens, so commonly used screens that have worked well in the past, and we can test the strategy for that. So the cash rich screen, we'll click on the test strategy. It should then run that screen across 3,500 stocks to see which shares actually currently meet the criteria for that strategy. And the criteria for that strategy here is a minimum of total cash, £1 billion, £1,000 million, net increases and decreases in cash, 1 million, and net cash in and out from operating activities. Now you can see straight away we've benchmarked that against the FTSE 100 over a 5-year period, and it has outperformed the index, which is quite useful because your strategy there is basically highlighted by the blue line and the benchmark index is the pink line. And you can see the blue bars here dictate positive returns on a month-by-month basis. The red lines indicate negative returns on a month-by-month basis. Okay, so now we will just go straight back to the Research Plus homepage. Now concludes the brief introduction to Research Plus. I hope you've been intrigued by what I've shown you. I invite you to look at further in-depth training videos as and when they become available.